you.
There you go. You have a great day.
You too. The people have spoken, and so I have answered. Down with the Pops, and up with the ball.
Hooker on the slant, it's caught for a touchdown. Jalen Hyatt. Hooker downfield, has a receiver wide open. Touchdown. There's the toss. They'll throw, it's intercepted. Here comes the blitz. Hooker's got a wide open Velus Jones inside the 10.
Welcome back to another episode of Soul Food Sunday. Now, I know you guys done seen that thumbnail, you done read that title, and guess what? I'm finna show you guys just how easy it is to make. Listen, we just finna make a Southern style, fried chicken. Keep it down to the basic. And guess what? We gonna do it in the cast iron skillet. So with that being said, we finna go right over these ingredients and we finna get it, folks.
All right. Yeah, I had to cut that thing off because that was last year's hype and hate video for South Carolina. Great times back then, up until we actually played them. We'll have plenty of time to talk about that today, along with many other things. Oi, fellow comrades, it is Squidtard here, as well as my boy Lucas Sharp and Julio down there, Mr. Julio Rodriguez. Welcome, everybody, to the Vol Star Podcast, episode 8 of the show. It's been a great run. Now, we didn't do the show last week because, I went through all 10 different stages of grief, so I didn't really have the time nor the pleasure of doing that show. But now we are here and we are back in full force, and nothing will stop me this time. I thought I'd become immune to the pain. Turns out that wasn't the case, but now my defenses have been ironed up, and we are a go for the show. So, how are you guys doing today?
Doing pretty good.
Yeah, I'm doing fine.
Spectacular. So, of course, we got a lot to talk about this week. We had a great slate of college football games on Saturday. A lot of great action, a lot of different results, and some upsets too. And we'll talk about all of that today, along with many other things. But first, I guess we should drop. There isn't much Tennessee news to talk about this week, of course, other than the big matchup against the our hated. Do we call them a rival? Do we call South Carolina a rival?
I kind of consider them a rival. I don't know about you, but I kind of consider them a rival.
I don't.
I don't know. It's kind of weird. I mean, they haven't been around too long.
Well, here's the thing. We do not play them next year. So that's kind of a big thing to... That's kind of the thing right there. We do not play them next year, so that's how you know we aren't really kind of rivals. We play a bunch of our other rivals, though. Georgia, Florida, Bama, Kentucky, Vandy. Yeah.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. Are we even playing Florida after next year?
I don't know. We'll have to see.
It depends on who our permanent opponents are.
Because that's what I was wondering. Because how many permanent opponents are we going to have? Are we going to have 2 or 3?
I'm pretty sure since it's 8, I think we only get 1.
I don't know. Well, let's check out the comment section here. Janine Senti says, I'm going to be in school. It seems like you already are in school. Slim Shady Kane says, Spencer Rattler better than Joe Milton. Well, I don't know about that one. I don't know about that.
Well,
here's the thing right now. I would probably trust Rattler more if he had a good offensive line, which I know ours ain't really the best right now. But, other than that showing against Florida, I think the offensive line could definitely get improved. But I feel like it's better than South Carolina's, which, that's not a high bar to cross. But
Yeah, really. Well, let's go ahead and talk about Slim Shady Canes. I see his profile picture is the Bucks. Speaking of which, the Saints are getting ready to whoop on that next week. And speaking of the NFL, we got to talk about it. Lucas brought this up to me before the show began. Josh Dobbs, former Tennessee quarterback, grabs his first win starting against the Dallas Cowboys yesterday. Big win for him, big win for the team, and of course, a big win for the Tennessee quarterback.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, kind of conflicted about it, being a Cowboys fan also.
Yeah, it's a win-lose situation, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sorry, but Dak, he's not good. He is not good.
No, here's the thing. I remember I was sitting there watching it with my uncle, which he's a former Cowboys fan. And before you say anything, he became a fan of the Cowboys in the 70s. And then he stopped being a Cowboys fan whenever the Titans finally moved to Tennessee. So he was a Cowboys fan through the good and bad times. And I was sitting there watching the game with him, and I was literally like right when we got to the goal line, and I saw that linebacker kind of creeping down a little bit, and I said, he's going to throw a pick here. Just watch this. And surely enough, he threw a fucking pick. And I was like, God, why did I do
Really?
this to
Yeah,
myself?
it's the story of our life, isn't it?
I'm actually kind of shocked with the Cowboys. They have the talent to be good, but they refuse to be good.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The Cowboys, it's weird. We play up against good teams, unless it's the Patriots, and for some reason we can never play the Patriots whenever they have Tom Brady. That was like the only good team we usually struggled against. And then, other than that, we usually played all the good teams good, but we kind of played down to our competition.
Right. Slim Shady Kane says, with who? Crab legs? Well, I would say Derek Carr. Yeah, the Saints disappointed me huge yesterday. We were up 17-0 heading into the half. You know, I thought we had the game won, and then it's kind of like the story of the Saints here. They were good until they weren't. And so they were good yesterday and played a great game until they didn't. And the friggin' Packers climbed all the way back. Jordan Love just suddenly decided he wanted to ball out, and the Saints ended up losing.
Yeah, I don't know what it is with the Packers. They have something up there. Whoever is in their QB scouting department.
Yeah, no.
They seem to have the formula down.
Really, I don't get it. I don't get how we can just consistently choke on a daily basis. I don't understand that. And I also don't understand why I keep putting up some of my DMs. I've been arguing back and forth with this. I told you guys 2 weeks ago when I accidentally did that the last time where I opened up my DMs at the Florida fan. Yeah, we were going at it, and now I just did the exact same thing again, this time with the South Carolina fan. So I'm on a roll today. Real professional. So enough NFL talk. We've talked about enough about that. This is a college football Tennessee Volunteers show. We got to talk about this South Carolina game, and more importantly, what happened last week. So talking about Week 4, what was probably in your guys' eyes the most shocking result from Week 4 of the college football season?
Give me 1 second. I want to look through. One thing, the score kind of like paints a bad picture of it, but I feel like Rutgers actually hung in there pretty good until the final quarter. That's kind of shocking a little bit. They kind of hung around there for a little bit.
I'm pretty sure Michigan pulled away pretty early on in that, but I could be wrong about that.
Yeah. Also, Michigan did pull away. They won 31-7 finally. But another thing is, I know some people were shocked that Florida State didn't absolutely trounce Clemson. Here's the thing, though. Clemson's got a good defense, but their offense is just kind of, I don't know. A couple drives they'll be elite, and then, the next drive they'll look like the worst offense to ever touch a football field. I just don't understand it.
I agree with that. One of the big shockers for me, of course, there were quite a couple of big games yesterday. A lot of teams played really up to their potential. Probably one of the more impressive results I saw yesterday was from the Big Ten won yesterday. Big Penn State, man, did you see what they did to Iowa? I mean, now it's Iowa again. Their offense is like looking at a wet cinder block, but they still, Penn State beating Iowa like that. 31-0 was the final score. Drew Allar balled out again. The Penn State defense just bodying people left and right. They are a really, really good team this year.
Yeah, Penn State's legit. They can make the playoffs, and they can definitely beat
for
Michigan.
sure. And I wouldn't
Yeah.
count Ohio State out either. I was wrong about Ohio State and Notre Dame. So I thought Notre Dame was going to win this game by multiple scores. They looked like the far better team. Ohio State's kind of struggled against the run recently, and Notre Dame's had a really good run game. But turns out that wasn't the case today or on Saturday.
Yeah.
As good of a game Sam Hartman played, Kyle McCord balled out just a little bit better, especially. And all you need to do is win the game. And on that final drive, Ohio State found a way to win on the final play of the game.
Yeah, as someone who's got Ohio State family members and stuff like that are Ohio State fans, I knew Notre Dame was going to find a way to lose this. I don't know what it is with Notre Dame. Anytime they get into a big game, they somehow find a way to choke it. I swear to God, they could be up by 40 points and find a way to blow it. I don't understand how they consistently do it. The only big game that I can think they won was the year they beat Clemson, I think, during the pandemic. Which I find it kind of funny. They beat them during the pandemic because, dang, the only non-normal time in college football is when they finally beat a good
Notre
team
Dame's still
finally.
going to Notre Dame because they found a way during the that was during the regular season. Once they played them again in the ACC championship, Clemson dominated them.
Yeah. And then another thing that flew under the radar was Marshall knocking off Virginia Tech.
Well, Virginia Tech's booty
that's not
cheeks
really
for
all
sure.
that shocking.
I know, but
And
I know, but it's kind of weird because I know Virginia Tech's bad, but you should still probably beat Virginia Tech even whenever you're down that bad.
I mean, what if the Big Ten East finishes in a three-way tie?
This would be the year to do it.
Are you talking about a rerun of what was it, the Big 12 in 2007?
It could very well happen.
Yeah, because what if Michigan, Ohio State, and Penn State all finish out in 11-1?
Yeah, because during that year, I think this was when the Big 12 was divided into divisions. In one division, you had 3 11-1 teams with Oklahoma, Texas, and Texas Tech. Rest in peace, Mike Leach.
Yeah, for sure.
That was the year of the Crabtree catch where he caught it on the sideline.
Yeah, for sure. Let me catch up on these comments real quick before we continue. Andrew the Textbook says Spencer Rattler is arguably the best quarterback in the SEC. His completion percentage is ridiculous. I'd have to agree with that. I think Spencer Rattler right now has been the most impressive quarterback in the SEC. Dude just continues to ball out every single week, including against Georgia's defense. And the part that makes that so impressive is that his offensive line is like a piece of wet cheese. Every time he snaps the ball, he's got 5 Georgia offensive linemen in his face, and it happened again on Saturday against Mississippi State. They were on him instantly, and Spencer Rattler still found a way to stay calm, stay in the pocket, throw a deep ball, throw some big passes. Dude was just elite on every single play.
Yeah, Spencer Rattler and that Xavier Legette guy, they might be the best quarterback wide receiver duo in the SEC.
Yeah, also KJ Jefferson's pretty good, but Arkansas is kind of not really that good. So
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Rattler's probably better this year, but I feel like going into this year, probably the one that had the one that I probably would have put the best quarterback going in because he probably has the most extensive resume would have been Jefferson. Because, I know Rattler did good at the end of the year last year, but, there's been a couple times where a player's gone off for a couple weeks and then they come back down to earth. But it seems like Rattler's finally found his groove.
Of course, Spencer Rattler, I think, played one of the really good games in terms of quarterbacks, but you did mention KJ Jefferson, and just like Rattler, he balled out on Saturday against LSU. He absolutely – they went toe for toe with each other. Both him and Jaden Daniels, both those quarterbacks looked really, really good.
Yeah, I don't know. Jefferson always does pretty good. Here's the thing. I think looking at how Alabama's played, I feel like Alabama could lose to Arkansas. I know some people are going to be like, oh, no, they won't. But, I don't really think Alabama's that good.
Yeah, this is not the same Alabama that I've seen.
Unless Milroe gets better, I just think Alabama could almost lose to anyone. Let me look at their schedule real quick.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think they'll lose to let me let me look at their schedule and I'll tell you who I think they could lose to. Now I don't think they'll lose all these games, of course, but I'm just saying I think they could lose to a lot of teams on their schedule. Mississippi State, no, I don't think they will. At Kyle Field at Texas A&M, if Texas A&M plays a good game this year, it'll be against Alabama. It's almost always how it is.
Yeah.
It wouldn't
All right.
surprise me. Arkansas is at Alabama this year. I don't really think they'll lose to that since it's at Alabama, but I also wouldn't be surprised if that's a close game. Of course, the Tennessee at Alabama game, I mean,
Yeah.
it kind of really depends on how Tennessee's offense does.
If Milton balls
but,
out, they're gonna give. I mean, they're
that's
gonna give
kinda-
all Alabama pretty much everything that they want and more.
LSU, I think LSU has definitely played better this season, other than, of course, the Florida State
Yeah.
game. Kentucky's also a weird one. I don't know if Kentucky will
Oh,
win
I
that,
want
but,
to
they-
highlight. I can't highlight because I'm doing this through OBS.
but I think Alabama wins that, and then I think they'll win against Auburn.
Right.
Chattanooga.
Oh,
But,
I
mean,
sorry to
like-
cut you off, but I want to highlight this comment here from Andrew the Textbook. Alabama is always A&M Super Bowl. I just got the news just now, literally, about the TV and where the times are for these games. So they've dropped all of the game times for October 7th. So we're on a bye that week. This is right after this upcoming week, and Alabama Texas A&M 3:30 kickoff on CBS. So they're already highlighting how big of a game that is for A&M and Jimbo Fisher.
Yeah, funny enough, I won't even be in the country probably when that happens. I'll be on a cruise.
Oh, really?
So.
I guess you won't be missing too
Yeah.
much then.
Yeah, I know. Since I was actually kind of happy it's on a bye week this time because I was also on a cruise during the Georgia game in 2016.
Oh my
when we
gosh,
caught the
that's
Hail Mary.
awful. That's awful, dude. I hate. Yeah, no, you cannot do that. You absolutely.
No, here's the thing though. We it wasn't like a day when you go do the excursions, so we were sailing back, and I was at the sports bar, and it was full of Georgia fans, and it was the funniest thing ever because this Georgia fan got up in my face and started barking at me during like whenever they got
Typical.
that touchdown late, and and I was like, damn, I was like, I don't know why you're barking at me. I didn't even say anything to you, and after that penalty, I said, watch, we're gonna throw a Hail Mary and win. And then I got up on the bar and was like, look what I fucking told you. I told you.
Yeah, that sounds about right. All right, let's see. So Andrew the Textbook says, hot take, Saban will retire within the next 2 seasons. I'll do you one better. I think he retires this season. I think he's done.
If he does, who would Bama even
I don't
hire?
know.
Hopefully
That would be
that's-
hilarious if they hired Dabo Sweeney, but I don't think that's happening.
Now, if Dabo was still doing good, I feel like they would hire him. But since Dabo's kind of petering off, I
God,
don't
that would
think
make
they
for
will.
a very interesting podcast of the week that he does retire. That
Also, another thing, though, is some people are like, well, what if Alabama hires Deion Sanders? I was like, I don't think the boosters at Alabama would want that. So
I don't think Deion Sanders is leaving Colorado anytime soon.
no way.
No,
All
I
right.
don't think he
Especially
is.
since his son George.
Come on, Slim Shady Canes. Come on, dude. You don't believe that. He said, y'all got to take the Homer shades off. Tennessee could go winless in the SEC. Really?
Stop it, bro.
Yeah,
We're
no,
beating Vandy,
come
at
on, man.
least.
Vandy's the worst team in. I mean, have you seen Vandy play, bro? Come on. As bad, Tennessee
Yeah, I was
could
gonna say-
have their entire first string, like team just get injured all of a sudden, and we'll still walk in. Vandy will still walk into Neyland and take a 20-point L. That's not happening. As bad as we could be, that ain't happening. Winless in the SEC is by far impossible.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the other games, I know we got, of course, South Carolina and then A&M. I know we got A&M, but A&M's kind of weird. I don't really know about that game. That's kind of a weird game. And then here's the other thing. I think we can beat Kentucky because I don't know what it is. We have some freaking voodoo over Kentucky. I don't know
Same
what
way
it
Florida
is.
does to us.
Yep.
Yeah.
So now that we've highlighted some of these games, I want to talk about this one. I think everybody was expecting this. It's just all these analysts were shoving it in your face that Colorado was the best team of all time in the history of all time because Deion Sanders was the coach. Well, reality check hit and hit hard this week. Oregon puts the absolute whooping of a lifetime on Colorado. 42-6, the final score. Bo Nix completely lights up that defense. Shedeur Sanders looks completely lost throughout the game, throws a couple interceptions. It's it don't look too good for Colorado, I will say that, because now, I mean, they're at home again, but it's against USC and Caleb Williams. So you guys tell me how that's going to go.
Yeah.
Caleb Williams is going to tear him apart.
Yeah. And it's not like I don't, it's not like I hate Colorado and just want them to lose every game. That's definitely not the case. I think what Deion Sanders has done at Colorado is, something that you can't just sit there and go. I mean, that was a phenomenal feat by him, turning that program around, getting the win over TCU, beating Nebraska. Those are two huge wins right there. And then you win a third one. You're already over on the over-under win total for Colorado. So that is a huge deal for the Buffs. And I actually think they only need to win like one more game to do that. And even if they go 5-7 this year, that's still an incredible feat considering where they were beforehand. Yeah. I think the job that he did was great. But throughout the entire week, throughout the entire offseason, and all the way up till now, analysts, CBS, ESPN, they've all been shoving it in your face, talking to you. Look at what Colorado's doing. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it.
They kept glazing off the Buffs.
It was ridiculous.
So
they were telling you all these reasons why Colorado is about to win the Pac-12 and they can sneak their way into the college football playoffs. It's like, stop.
Yeah, I was actually rooting for Colorado and Deion Sanders until everybody wanted to try to shove Deion Sanders and Colorado's cock.
Well, the worst part
about
it was ESPN. That's all they talk about. You go on ESPN. If Deion Sanders farts, they're going to cover it for the next 6 hours. It's ridiculous. So
Did you not see those tweets? Like it said something like Colorado players. It shows they're stretching and they're getting ready for exercise. Like every team.
No, but it's special if Colorado does it.
Well, here's the thing, though. A lot of those were trolls.
Not all of them.
So a lot. I know some of them weren't, but like the one, it was referencing a tweet from the Folsom Frenzy podcast, I think, which is like, I guess it's like a podcast about Colorado football, I guess, because that's the name of the field, Folsom Field. He sent out a tweet or something like that, like it was like they're the Buffaloes and Coach Prime are blasting the Oregon fight song during during the practice or whatever. This level of detail is what makes Coach Prime great. And I was like, literally everyone does that before every road. It's
special if they do it. Woo! All right, well.
And then people started memeing. It's like I think Uncle Lou tweeted out something. Let me find it. He tweeted out something. It was hilarious.
Well, everyone with the brain cell and not just glazing off of Deion Sanders expected this outcome when they went up against a really good Oregon Ducks team. Nobody analyzed this game and thought that Colorado was the better team. They just weren't, whichever lineup. And it definitely didn't help that Travis Hunter was out for the game.
Yeah, right here. Let's see. I know. Let me find it. Prime. Give me 1 second. I know he tweeted out I think 2 of them. It says right here, rumor has now keep in mind this is a troll. It says rumor has it Deion Sanders has his team attending meetings during this week. Has a team in a meeting and just calling them team meetings. It's that level of detail that makes Coach Prime great.
Yeah. Yeah,
and
really.
I was like,
Slim Shady Kane says, y'all, as referring to Tennessee, are 500 against Vandy in the last 10 years. Okay, we're 80-20 against them all time.
Actually, that's false, sir.
Yeah, that's not even true. And even if it was, we're 80-20 against them all time. So, you don't get to really. I hate it when people do that. They cherry pick a specific amount of time instead of just choosing the all-time series or last year. So, that it's ridiculous to just point out the last 10 years. Why don't you point out the entirety of, the last 50 years, the last whatever years? It doesn't really matter, It's ridiculous. Deion Sanders, Andrew the Textbook says Deion Sanders pretty much is a celebrity who just happens to be a coach of a college football team. Yeah. Definitely can agree with you on that one. All right, well, before we get into the main topic for today, which is, as you guys can expect, the big matchup coming up against the Cocky Wockies, what would you guys say right now are your top 5 college football team? What would you guys say are your top 5 teams right now?
Give me 1 second. I'd probably, of course, put Georgia
I think
up there until
I know
someone.
my 5 teams, but I'll let Julio go first.
Yeah. Okay. So, let me check. I want to see what the APs got before I put them out. Let's see. I would probably put. I agree with the AP of Georgia at 1, Michigan at 2. I guess I'll put it up there. I mean, I don't know. I might put Texas above them because Texas is kind of handling a little bit more business, but I could also put Michigan at 2. I feel like you could probably interchange Michigan or Texas at 3. So I feel like you put that there. I would probably put Penn State at 4, and I would probably and then so. Like I said, 1 be Georgia, 2 or 3 would probably be Michigan or Texas. I feel like you could change that around. 4, Penn State, and then probably 5, either Florida State or Ohio State. And then, of course, you could also maybe argue like Washington or USC or something. But here's the thing, USC, I don't know what it is. I just don't I don't know. I can't really trust them with Lincoln Riley as their coach. Right.
Tennessee is 6-5 in the last 11 years against Vandy. Okay, what about the last 5? What about the last 5? That's what I want to know. What about that? What about the last 5? I mean, look at Miami's record against, like MTSU. Does that mean MTSU is getting ready to beat Miami this year?
Oh yeah.
I mean, just because you have a skid of bad coaching years where you go up and lose to Vandy. The last time we lost to Vanderbilt was Jeremy Pruitt's first year. I don't see what relevance that has to Josh Heupel in his 3rd year against Tennessee. Zero relevance. Clark Lee can't get out of his own way. Clark Lee can't even beat UNLV. Meanwhile, Tennessee's just stomped the crap out of UTSA, and UTSA is miles ahead of UNLV. So I don't really see the relevance here.
I'd probably say UTSA is better than Middle Tennessee State as well.
None of the players that were playing on this Tennessee roster the last time we lost to Vanderbilt, none of them are still playing for Tennessee. The record all time, the record in the last 10 years, the record in the last 5, none of that has any relevance to the game that's going to come up. As South Carolina fans can agree with me on this too. No South Carolina fans are using a 63-38 from last year as a legitimate reason as to why they're going to beat Tennessee this year. They're talking about what they have this year, not about what they had. There's no South Carolina fans talking about how they beat us in 2018. Nobody's talking about that. Tisk tisk. Tisk, tisk, tisk. Anyway, yeah. I'll give you guys my top 5 right here. I have Texas, Georgia, Michigan, Penn State, Florida State. Those are my top 5.
Here's my top 5. At number 1, in my opinion, is still Georgia. Even though there's probably been some teams that have been looking better, I think they should remain number 1 until they lose, to be honest with you. And then at number 2, I'd go Michigan still. I still think they're the second best team in my opinion. Number 3, that's where I'd put Texas. I think Texas, they could definitely challenge Michigan or Georgia. And then at 4, I'd probably put Penn State at 4, and then at 5, I'd probably put Florida State.
That's fair. The thing with Georgia is that they don't have that signature win that Texas does. And they've literally played a bunch of high school teams throughout the entire season, all with the exception of South Carolina, the only team with the pulse that they did play, and South Carolina gave them a big run for their money throughout the most of the game. In fact, they were leading by multiple scores at halftime. Even though I do think Georgia's more talented than they showed, they just haven't showed it. It's a show not tell type of system. You can say that you're the best team, but you got to at least show it. And Texas has shown it. So I know it's going to make Georgia fans mad, but then again, they're usually mad about everything around here. You tell them Sanford Stadium isn't the best stadium since Tiger Stadium at midnight against number 2 Alabama, and they're going to get real angry with you about it. You know, it's so bad with Sanford Stadium that they had to create a fake statistic on the Jumbotron when they played Tennessee. The stadium's up to 135 decibels, everybody. Bull. That didn't happen. It was a fake statistic. It was a Mickey Mouse statistic, just like you were a Mickey Mouse program. Okay, well, with all that aside, I feel like we can go ahead and move on to the big news here, or at least the big topic for today. South Carolina head into Knoxville this Saturday. 7:30 kickoff, so we get, it's going to be Neyland under the lights. It's going to be an electric stadium. Everyone is going to try and be there, except for me. I'm going to be up in Gatlinburg that day for most of the day, so unfortunately, I won't be able to make it to Neyland, just like all the other times. But anyway, so this is a huge matchup. The gravity with this matchup is huge for both teams. South Carolina really needs this win to kind of get their season afloat. They already have 2 losses, and they do not need another one that'll put them below 500. As for Tennessee, well, they already have a loss. They have aspirations of winning the East and possibly making the playoff. Probably not happening, but they have some big aspirations this season. And in order to continue those aspirations, they have to be able to win this game against the Gamecocks. So, a lot of pressure on both of these teams. And we talked about Spencer Rattler before, and Spencer Rattler is, he's played a phenomenal. He's played phenomenal for most of the season. His total passing yards, he's 95 of 128 attempts. He's got over 1,000 passing yards, 1,200 to be exact, 7 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. So not bad for him. He's balling it out there. He's been balling it out there. I think you guys can agree with me on that, correct?
Yeah. Spencer Rattler, as of late, he's definitely been playing good. Him and Xavier Legette have been playing really, really well. And also, they also have another good player, Juice Wells, even though I'm pretty sure he's actually going to be out for this Saturday, is what I've heard. So that's definitely a huge loss for South Carolina.
How'd you figure that part out?
Wait, who's out?
Juice Wells.
Oh, okay. For a second, I thought you said Xavier Legette. I said, well, that sucks for them. For a second, but
if I'm Tennessee, since Juice Wells is out, I'd probably just double team Xavier
Really,
Legette
that does suck. Jeez, that's rough. Well, going into this matchup, there's a lot of there's a lot going on. I'm going to take a look at South Carolina against Mississippi State this Saturday. I want to talk about something here. So, of course, South Carolina, Spencer Rattler completely balled out. He was nearly perfect in terms of pass attempts, 18 of 20, 288 yards, 14.4 on average, and 3 touchdowns, no INTs. Just an absolutely great performance from Spencer Rattler. You look at Mississippi State. This is an alarming stat right here. I think in total, Mississippi State had nearly 500 yards. Look at that. Will Rogers, he was 30 of 48, and he 487 passing yards. That is insane. That's double what Spencer Rattler had. So that is an alarming stat if I'm South Carolina's defensive coordinator.
I actually read on Twitter, I don't know if it's true or not, but somebody said that South Carolina has like the 11th worst defense.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That would be the most shocking thing.
I know they have a really bad run defense, but I mean, here's the thing though. I just don't know if how do I put this? I just don't. I kind of don't trust the offensive line to like be too consistent right now because of all the stuff they showed. Now, if we got Cooper back, I might feel more confident about the game. But after the way we played against Florida, but then again, I guess it's kind of weird because we always, I don't know, we just can't play Florida in the swamp. I
Yeah.
don't know what it is.
Yeah, we need Cooper Mays back.
Now you did
badly.
mention something right while you were talking there. The run defense. Excuse me. The run defense for Mississippi State or South Carolina, it has not been shown to be very very well. I think you mentioned it's like. I think it's in the 100s in terms of college football stats. So that is a huge mismatch for South Carolina going up against Tennessee. Because you look at what we got, I don't know if Jalen Wright's coming back. I saw him get hurt in the UTSA game, but I do know for a fact Jabari Small will be playing. And Dylan Sampson completely lit up that UTSA defense. So if he's playing in this game, you can expect for South Carolina to have their hands full.
It's actually kind of shocking to me Dylan Sampson didn't play in the Florida game.
That was ridiculous. Yeah, no, and that was that. Like I mentioned, that was part two. Just horrific play calling on the offensive side of the ball. So I think we saw it in the game. I saw it instantly in the UTSA game. Joe Milton instantly. It's an option play. Milton runs off, and he. Were you guys shocked by that too? Because I literally I'm seeing Joe Milton outrun these cornerbacks. That was one of the most insane touchdowns I've seen in a while from Tennessee. But it does show what kind of a dual threat Milton is. I just don't know why we didn't take advantage of any of that in the Florida game.
I don't know. Like I said, we always play our worst game against them. We just got to curse against them, especially in the swamp.
No, it's a curse. I agree.
Yeah, I'm never picking us to beat Florida in the swamp ever
Until
again,
it actually
I
happens,
see
right?
us do it.
Yeah, I hear you on that. All right, well, let's take a look back at the just the matchup. I want to take a look at some of these mismatches between South Carolina and Tennessee. So, yeah, we mentioned the run game. We mentioned how much of a mismatch that's going to be for South Carolina and their very slow, run defense. It just has not performed all too well. But Spencer Rattler, like I did mention, has really, really balled out. And that's a bad sign for Tennessee's defense, the same defense that let South Carolina put up 63 on them last year. So you guys think they'll put up 63 on us this year? The immediate answer should be no. I don't know why you guys are taking this long to respond.
No, I mean, hopefully not, but I mean, I wouldn't put past anything with this fucking team.
I'd probably say no. I think our secondary is still bad. Don't get me wrong. Our secondary is still bad, but I still think our defensive line, I think, is still good. I think our defensive line will find a way to hopefully to get to Spencer Rattler. And also, I think, especially since South Carolina has one of the worst run defenses, if I'm Tennessee, give the ball to Dylan Sampson.
Mm-hmm.
Give it to Dylan Sampson.
Just mix up the play calling.
Because Dylan Sampson, honestly, he might be our best player on the offensive side of the ball. He might honestly be.
Yeah, I don't know why we haven't used him more.
It's an anomaly to me as well. And, the way he played yesterday against UTSA, I'm looking forward to seeing how much damage he's going to do to the South Carolina defense this upcoming week. I'm looking forward to it for sure. So, in terms of defense, what's your guys' biggest concern with Tennessee's defense going into this game? Because they've been really, really good about, stopping the run. Or, they actually stopped the pass pretty well against UTSA. What do you guys think they struggle against more going into the South Carolina game, the run or the pass?
Probably the pass.
Pass.
Because our secondary is hot trash, especially Kamal Hadden. Because, dude, Kamal Hadden refuses to turn his head. Literally, there could be some, Margaret Robbie could be walking by, and he would still not turn his head.
Yeah, I see your point on that, man. It's, he shows flashes of greatness like he did in the Austin Peay game. He actually did turn around, got a beautiful interception in that game. And then it's followed up by just some of the dumbest stuff I've ever seen. We saw it in the Florida game, too. Not Travis Etienne, Trevor Etienne, the little brother of Travis Etienne, goes running. He's following him, and he's got him. What he should have done was wrap him up for the tackle, at least stop him so that Florida doesn't get an easy touchdown. But no, he gives him one of these. I'll show. Hold on. I'll show you what he did. He gave him one of these. What is this gonna do? What was the point of this? I don't understand. How are you gonna be a college level defensive player and the way you tackle somebody is going like this? Oh, whoops, that's not. People can't see. Yeah, something like this. Like, what are you doing?
All I gotta say, if Kamal Hadden keeps playing like that, then well, I guess he better get his spatula ready because he's gonna be flipping burgers in a few years.
I always try and look at the benefit of the doubt for every single play on our team. I've done it for Joe Milton for the longest time. A lot of people, especially after the Florida game, a lot of people were ready to say, "Yep, sky's falling. Joe Milton sucks. Start Nico now. Season's over. It's all over. Sky's falling. I'm just gonna go jump off a cliff." Like, have some hope in the man. Jeez, and of course, Joe Milton balls out against UTSA, just like I knew he would, and I think he's getting ready to ball out the exact same way here against the Gamecocks.
I think he'll ball out against the Gamecocks too, and hopefully he does, so people can start getting behind him again, because it's actually kind of sad to see people are just ready for Joe to get out and put Nico in. The thing is, though, Nico, he's just a freshman. We don't know what he's going to do.
Pathetic.
Don't get me wrong, Nico. I think he's going to be good, but he's not going to be good this year. Hopefully Nico's good next year, though, because he's going to be.
Sure. I wish he got more playing time in the UTSA game. That's kind of one of the things that really irritated me. Is that, you put Nico in the game in the fourth quarter and you don't even let him throw the ball. Instead, you let him hand it off so that they can run the ball. What's the point? Milton or any other guy on our team can do that.
Well,
Tennessee.
didn't he throw one pass and then, of course, Dante Thornton dropped it?
Yeah, Dante Thornton. He has to be the most overrated pickup I've ever seen.
He's made some big plays, but that was really, really bad what happened.
I was so high on him going into the offseason. I thought he was going to be another breakout receiver for us, and so far he hasn't shown
Not
it.
at all. I'm disappointed with him as well, but I think he'll get it fixed this week.
Next year we bring in Mike Matthews, so hopefully Matthews turns this receiving core.
You guys know this already, but did you guys see that Mike Matthews got demoted to a 4-star? Yeah.
Wait, what?
He's a 4-star now.
Oh, shocker! It's because he's committed to Tennessee.
Something about that, man. It's just something about the fact he committed to Tennessee. It's got these 247 people all riled up. I don't like that one bit.
This is why On 3 is better than 24/7.
I think On 3 did it too. I'll have to double check that, but yeah, I did see where he was demoted to a 4-star on one of those websites. I'll have to double check in just a minute. So, reverting back to the Tennessee-South Carolina game, just one last question I got to ask you guys. What if we win this game against South Carolina this week? How much do we have to win by to the point that you guys are comfortable about the season going forward?
Probably about maybe 2 possessions, because that's actually what we're favored by.
I know that's a little shocking. 11-point favorites.
Yeah, that's shocking to me. Vegas sees something
Clearly.
that we don't.
But yeah, no. So what would you say? 14-point win over South Carolina? Because we have a bye right after this game.
And also, I looked up 24/7. It still shows Mike Matthews
Must
as
be
a
On
5-star.
3 then.
Yeah, Tennessee still has 2 5-stars in Jordan Ross
As it
and
should
Mike
be.
Matthews.
Maybe they promoted him again, as they should. Yeah, no, absolutely. So, 14 points. If we win by 14 points, I think I'd be a little bit more comfortable with that. Julio, you there? See, your mic's muted.
Yeah.
Oh, you're good.
I did.
You're good. So I'll ask you the same question I asked Lucas. How much does Tennessee have to win by against South Carolina to the point that you're comfortable about the season going forward?
If I remember, I think Lucas said 2 touchdowns, right? I think that's about right for me. Probably like 2 touchdowns. Well, it also kind of really depends on how Rattler plays too, and how good our
Mm-hmm.
defense plays. And let's see, if we have a good defensive day, and then our offense is, slow, then I feel like, if we still win by 2 touchdowns, even if our offense is slow, then that's pretty good. But if we play a bad defensive game and we only win by like 3 or whatever, then, or like maybe 3 to 7 points, then I feel like that could definitely be cause for
Well,
concern.
South Carolina is just one of those teams where your offense cannot
So
have a bad day. They're going to score on Tennessee. This isn't going to be like Austin Peay where the defense can just bail us out every single play. They have to show up on the offensive side of the ball. And I think this would be the perfect game to let Milton do what he needs to do. Because all throughout the season, they've just been doing, bubble screens and runs up the middle. They haven't been letting Joe Milton actually attempt to win a game for Tennessee. So I think in this case, they got to let Milton do what he needs to do. We'll find out a lot about Joe Milton in this game, I think.
well, well, a lot of it also is the offensive line. Also, another thing, I don't know why the hell we suspended Gerald Mincey. It's like, oh well, he had weed, and that's legal. Well, I don't agree with that. First of all, like no one's ever died from it, so and plus, he got a citation for it. It ain't like he was trafficking or anything. So
That's a whole nother.
I don't understand why we suspended him. Like it was just like the most minor possession. Like I don't know. I just feel like that
That's
was
a
a
whole
dumb
nother
thing to
debate
do.
for a whole nother
So
podcast, is what I feel like.
yeah, yeah. Oh, I mean, I know, but I mean, I was just saying, like, I don't know. I just feel like the the offensive line woes is also kind of been just that dumb suspension before the Florida game, and then I don't know, and then also Cooper Mays being out is just such a weird thing with the offensive line. Like I don't know if it's Joe or the offensive line or the receivers. I mean, it could be a little bit of everything, but
I think it is a little
Very
bit
well
of
could
everything.
be.
like I mean, it's just yeah, but it's like who do you blame it on more? Do you blame it on the line being like really bad? Do you blame it on Joe for being a little inconsistent and stuff like that? Or do you blame it on the receivers for continuously dropping balls, even though they only really drop one or 2 balls? I don't think they really dropped any during the Florida game, but they had that horrible game against Austin P. But they bounced back and had a. I wouldn't say I guess bounce back, but they had a couple good plays against Florida whenever we could, finally when
Yeah,
Joe
no,
had time to
letting
throw.
Florida
But
beat you by any amount of points is not bouncing back. That's just diving deeper.
yeah, yeah, and plus, like I said, they played, like look how they played against Charlotte. Even though I'm a big fan of Charlotte's head coach Biff Poggi, he's a good player, but I don't know. I just feel like we just kind of I feel like our offensive line without Cooper is just not good. Like it's just not.
Yeah, I know. I agree with that. Losing Cooper was a big loss for this O line, and they need to get that under control before it's too late. So we'll see how it goes. We'll really be able to figure out kind of the big issues with this team, or kind of where they've progressed after this game is over on Saturday. I'm looking forward to it, man. We'll find out a lot about the fight in this team. A lot of people have already dialed the Vols. They're ready. They're ready to quit on this team, but we ain't, and I'm sure the team ain't yet. Heupel's got these boys ready to go, and they'll be ready to go on Saturday for sure. So I'll end this off like this before we end the podcast. I want to ask you guys specifically, what would you guys say is the best locations to eat chicken at?
Wait, you said
Yeah,
like
yeah. Where would you
where
guys
at?
eat the best chicken at? What's your yeah? Where would you eat
Like it,
chicken? Where would you get the best fried chicken?
like, oh,
Best friend.
like I don't know. It really depends, like where you're at or whatever. Like Nashville. I mean, I know like Hattie B's is like the touristy answer or whatever, but I don't think Hattie B's has the best chicken. Um, Prince's is of course the original Prince's is
Mm-hmm.
good. There's 300. I think it's what 300 degrees. I think is
Yeah.
also in Nashville, but it's really hot chicken.
Andrew says Chick-fil-A. That's a popular choice.
Well, I mean, I was thinking more of like if we're doing fast food restaurants, that's a totally different thing. But I thought you were just talking like fried chicken restaurants. Yeah, but if we're talking fast food, I'd probably say let's see, probably Chick-fil-A where
Mm-hmm.
I live, because like I mean like we don't really have like we have chain restaurants, but we don't really have like too many like good fried chicken like places like fast
Right.
food wise. I'm trying to think. What's that one place in Florida? Quality. It's called. Was it QPC or
Qual-
Quality Chicken? I can't remember. I know it's.
Quality chicken.
Wait, I
Uh,
can't. Wait, I'm trying to think.
well, I know that place ain't. I know
It's
that place ain't in South
oh
Carolina.
P PDQ. That's it. What? Yeah,
PDQ.
PDQ. I've always heard. Yeah, I've heard that's a good place and like a pretty good like thing for chicken.
Mm-hmm.
I think it stands for like, but I've heard that's good. I haven't tried it though.
Lucas,
Um,
you got any places in mind?
um, let's see.
I usually, when I want chicken, I usually just go to
That's
Zaxby's
fair.
down the street.
I've been
honestly.
hearing that too.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Sometimes I feel like Zaxby's is good, and then sometimes it's kind of bad. It kind of really depends on the location.
Yeah.
Well, the Zaxby's near me is actually really good. So,
Yeah, yeah. Well, there's like two different Zaxby's where I live, and one of them's really bad, and the other one's really good.
Yeah,
So
yeah, no, that sounds about right. They usually they're different depending on location. One of the things I'm excited about
oh
is I think I mentioned this to you guys 2 weeks ago that there is and I didn't know this up till now. There is a Raisin Cane's in my in downtown Knoxville that I have yet to try. So I'm looking forward to doing that, and this would be the
yeah.
perfect week for it.
No, I will say this: the Cane's chicken. I feel like the chicken's overrated without the sauce. Like it has to have the sauce. Like I don't think it's that good if you
See, I've
don't have the
heard that
sauce.
already from some of my friends down on campus, and they're trying to get me to try some of that sauce, and so I will for sure let you guys know about it.
Yeah, which I know what it is. I've tried it and stuff. Like I can make like a pretty similar sauce to that because like I don't know. I like condiments and stuff, so I know how to make a lot of them and stuff like that. Like I can make a pretty good
Oh
imitation
yeah.
one of
yeah.
those. But another one is Bojangles.
Oh yeah,
They're
for sure.
a breakfast one. I haven't tried the Shake Shack like chicken sandwich. The last time I went there, I tried it whenever I was in New
Mm-hmm.
York. So it was like when it was a couple years ago when I tried it. I think whenever I went to New York because that's like where it originally stopped from.
Right.
Um,
All right then. Well, the reason I asked all of that to you guys was because I've got to figure out all of the places I want to go to eat this fried chicken for my hate video on Friday because there is a certain piece of chicken that's going to get fried when they come down to Knoxville on Saturday. That's for sure.
You should get
yeah,
You should get Zaxby's chicken because I'm pretty sure that's most South Carolina's actual
Oh,
favorite
ho,
chicken.
ho, ho, interesting.
Literally,
oh
because literally every single South Carolina fan I find on Twitter, they're like, "Oh, my favorite my favorite chicken place, it's Zaxby's and everything." Like literally, most South Carolina fans' favorite
Well,
chicken.
stay
is
tuned
literally
for
Zaxby's.
Friday. The hate video I've got planned for the
And
Gamecocks
honestly,
is massive. I'll tell you that much.
and not gonna lie, South Carolina fans, they do have good taste. Zaxby's is
Yeah,
really
that's
good.
about all they've got is good taste. They ain't got a good football team. Alrighty then. Well, it's officially 3 o'clock, so it's about time to go ahead and bail on out of here. Well, I love you guys. Love the South Carolina fans. Even though we're about to whoop on your team this upcoming Saturday, I appreciate y'all jumping on in here. Vol Steak is him and Slim Shady Canes are going at it in the comments section just a minute ago. So yeah, appreciate all you guys coming in. Andrew the textbook, appreciate you coming in as well. You guys are great people. Looking forward to the next episode of the Vol Star Podcast. Of course, we're going to try and do it on time next week, Sunday night at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll have a lot to talk about next week, whether or not win or lose. That's for sure. There will be plenty of topics to speak on, so you guys better not miss it next Saturday. Thank you again to my boys Lucas Sharp and Julio Rodriguez for jumping in on the stream today. I know it's at a very odd time in your day on a Monday, so I appreciate y'all hopping on in here and doing this with me.
Yeah, it wasn't too. I didn't have anything to do, so.
Yeah. I already had my class earlier today, so I didn't have anything.
Well, I have to go ahead and jump on in and head to a class on campus. Maybe I'll pick up some fried chicken on the way. Ha ha ha! Hilarious. All right. Well, again, thank you guys so much for watching. And you guys have any parting thoughts for the people in the comment section before we head on out of here?
No, I think I've said my piece about stuff. I mean, I don't really have anything to say. You have anything to say, Lucas?
Go Vols, and we're about to beat them
Yeah,
Cocks.
yeah. Well, I would say we know how to beat Cox. There's a certain, I mean, Georgia fans suck on mine every single week. So, all right, great show, everybody. All right, thank you guys again for watching. I shall see you all later on when I do my pick'ems, and make sure you guys go follow Lucas and Julio. All their stuff's in the description in this live stream. And yeah, we'll see you all next time. Go Vols, baby, and power to Tardaria too, but mainly go Vols. And we'll see you.